Hello. How's it going, Mina-san? Yes, I recently I was able to take a day off, chill out, relax, enjoy myself, have fun. And there was a show that I had started watching years ago. They were on their second season a couple months ago, and a couple of weeks ago, or last spring season, they finally dropped their final uh, season, I believe. I I believe we're all wrapped up now. Um, just kind of a bummer because a show like this really doesn't happen often. In my opinion, I think the the last time I felt something akin to this might have been something like either oof, Assassination Classroom or I guess Full Metal is a good one, but everybody picks Full Metal, so I'll leave it at that. But man, when I say that when I say that sometimes the dream is too real. No, yeah, I don't know. It's just there's some shows out there that just really have so much to provide. They have a lot to say. They they're not ashamed of being what they want to be, and they come with purpose, and they come hard. And if you're not ready for it, the shit will fucking smack you and take you. You know what I mean? It's intense because something about anime that I've always been proud of, I guess, or able to enjoy or prideful in, is the idea that it's an animation. It's a drawing. It's an idea on a piece of paper and or computer and or digital front, uh, zeros and ones compiled. This man, in 2019, 2020, j.c.staff has always been one of those anime studios that you looked at with wonder, right? They, number one, they have been pioneers of the moe. Slower. The moe. Um, yeah, the moe. They've been people who really have not shied away from their art, their creativity. Um, People who have given a lot, a lot of themselves to present these stories, to write these narratives that hold value. Um, and even then, like I do believe that this studio has produced a lot of original ideas that just have heart and soul. And when when I found out about this show, I first bumped into the show like in 2018, I think, is when first season aired. It was immediately visible how different this story was. It it felt like a dream that was only visible because animation and drawings and art and digital art are so unique. They have their own style. They provide their own presence. They bring their own emotions to the paper. And oh shit, it's not maybe a spoiler. Am I spoiling things for you guys? Oh shit. And being able to really appreciate how beautiful the show is, from the simple character designs that just bleed personality from a simplistic design elements, to the storybook drawn backgrounds that at points look like they come out of a fairy tale, straight up out of a fairy tale book, to the characters who are all written with purpose, with charm, with ideas, with dreams, goals, something you can respect. I will never forget the day when j.c.staff was attacked by a certain individual. I won't get too into it, but that was a moment, man. To think about how something so terrible, so rough could happen to people who have provided nothing but joy, entertainment, creativity. How people as as amazing as them could really could be hurt, could feel pain, and we felt that day. It wasn't fair to many of the people who unfortunately didn't make it that day, and that moment really impacted me because it blew my mind how far gone we were, to the point that we were starting to attack ourselves, yeah, our animation studios. We've gotten to a point where we were so stressed out that someone decided it was better to just to dish out pain than to, I don't know, to look out, to look forward, to ask for help. For, I don't know, I do remember why they quote unquote did that. They were quote unquote cheated out of certain things, but are you gonna honestly sit there and tell me that many people's lives were worth whatever bitchy shit you were complaining about? Come on. So when that happened, I was a little worried, man. I was a little upset for them, and I it felt like we were gonna lose. We had already lost people in that fire, but it felt like we were gonna lose our humanity. Like if j.c.staff couldn't like make it, like couldn't get away from the pain, or from the bullshit that happens, then then who deserves it, so yeah, that kind of broke me for a minute, because I was gently worried that we would not have that same spirit, that a part of me was scared that we would lose the love that came from these people, this creation, the studio, everyone who had to continue working like nothing had happened. I can only imagine how painful, stressful, infuriating that must have been. And at any sorry, at any point, if anyone else decided to be terrible about the situation, for maybe they had a right to feel that way, but it could have been like a downward spiral into negativity. for a second there, I really thought we were done. Like we were cooked. Like we were. It was over. Like there was no shred of indecency or kindness in this this lands. You know. So when j.c.staff finally released what would be their quote unquote newest anime of the season, and it turned out to be this kiddo. I was just happy, man. I was impressed. I was kind of bad news bears. What the fuck? I disappeared. I don't know how to get the guy back. Get back to you. Holy shit! What the fuck? Back. Oh, hello. Yeah, that was funny. For 5 seconds, that was funny. I was just trying to go backwards, man. Come on. Can't you just repeat these things? So yeah, man. Again, sorry if it's like a little too intense, but yeah, man, it really was a scary moment. You know, I couldn't help but feel like it was gonna affect them in a really intense way, and obviously it did. Right? They're fucking human beings. They're gonna feel emotions, especially after something as horrifying as that. But when this show started coming out, and at first, you know, you get that initial scene of like we set the stakes and we find our main character who is set in essentially in a cage. You're stuck in this point where he cannot physically touch people because he will inadvertently take their lives. You know, he has been cursed to wilt destroy anything he touches, and that is a curse. You know, that is something that could very well destroy someone's insanity and cause them to think in a completely different way, inhumane almost. Inhuman would be a way to describe that. But then you have the heroine who, yes, yes, for a absurdly X amount of reasons, you can go ahead and say that, you know, maybe a lot of these things are not realistic. A lot of these things are maybe just fantasy or just inspired by just emotions. But there's something powerful in the idea of supporting, of caring, of being there for the ones you care about, being there to support the people who maybe have been working on their own things and are dealing with themselves and maybe don't have the best outlet to figure out how to work with these things, these emotions, but are still human, still think for their common man, still feel emotions, still, you know, have aspirations and dreams. So big part of me kind of started thinking about all that had happened with that person and why they did the things that they did and what could have been different. What could have been? What could they have done? I say they because obviously I can't fly to Japan and talk to the guy or whatever. But what could anyone have done to prevent such a disappointment, a mess, pain? And I think at the end of the day, I do feel that maybe, just maybe, if this is an original story or if it was originally a manga or light novel or whatever, but just maybe there was a need for healing, a time to want to believe, to want to hope, to want to trust in each other. And that's something that this show has portrayed very beautifully. That's speaking beyond just the romantic interest side of things. I've always said that my favorite aspect of a show is the supporting cast. Because when you have a good, well written supporting cast, they bounce off the main characters, whether it be one or a group or X amount of people. Those supporting characters, if incredibly well defined, give the main characters so much more depth. Why would this person who can stop time hang out with this random nobody? Why would why would this shitty maid, or she's not shitty, she's really cute. Why would this carnivorous maid be so interested in the guy who can't even, like hold her hand or give her a hug when she needs it or something? There's a fine line between fantasy and hope. And even if sometimes it might be a little too whimsical, too fantastical, I think there's value in really presenting the emotions, the turmoils of what those moments mean to the people. More than just a story about one person's needs or wants or desires, but a story about a what's the word? A village, group, family, be as it may. Story of the people who, despite the differences, despite the conflicting dreams, and after 3 seasons of incredibly well paced romance / character development, you're just checking out Walter right now. Walter's the fucking goat. Hanging out with homegirl, I forgot her name already, damn it. But yeah, just the story of the I don't want to say anything rude to the poor guy, but the little kid who could, the botchan, sore no botchan, gambaro, and yeah, just to see the trial, the sacrifices that were being made, and just kind of the struggles that they had to all kind of do in their own aspects of their own lives, the growth development that each one of them kind of taught each other, that because they were able to interact with each other after X amount of time, or just in general, so simply being able to find each other at the right time, that they influenced each other to be better. And that's kind of where I think the beauty of all this lies. Yes, at the very core, it is a romance anime. You know, we have these two main characters who are incredibly unlucky to not be together, to not be able to be together. But with a incredibly well written story and a well developed cast, those moments, those final wins mean more than they would have by themselves. I think the last time I felt this way about an anime like this would probably be Wagnaria, or Working for those in the Americas. Because again, we have a show of these wacky people who have found each other under certain circumstances. For working its work, for Maid Butler, it's you know, magic stuff. But who, despite the negativity, but despite the difficulties, despite their quirky personalities, they all work it out. They all come together in the end, and they find more. They find something within themselves that's more than what they could have ever been alone. That's what it is, man. That is the beauty of reaching out. That is the responsibility of us, right? I feel, I hope I'm just a dumbass out here in Americas who that can't even fucking fly to Japan right now. But if we were able to maybe talk a bit more, maybe be less what's the word, assimilative as is the Japanese culture, and if they were a little more brave about talking about those emotions, those doubts, those pains, those insecurities, whatever they may be, then maybe, hopefully, we a few more people could have been saved. I truly believe that. I truly feel like these things, as terrible as they are, happen for the reasons that they must. And that's incredibly unfair to everybody who had to go through the pain of loss in that moment, being stolen. But if we learn to work together, to support each other in those times of tribulations, that's the way it needs to be, I think. That's where that's where we want to be. So whether it takes an anime to make an individual feel emotions, whether it takes a video game to release anger, whether it takes a movie to remind you of your humanity. Never forget. Believe in the dream. Memento mori. I love this show so, so much. So fucking much. It is easily a 7 out of 7 in my book. Everything about it is, sure, it's not like, I can't even say it's not action because it has its good action moments, but it is a character piece before anything else. So as long as there is a respect for the characters and the journeys that they're going through, I have no doubts that you'll find something that can make you feel. I hope. Yeah. But hey man, that's kind of be where I leave it for today. because we don't have word if there's a season 4. Where they left this episode or the show, season 3, where they ended it, I think was a perfect place to kind of just be done. I would like the idea of the characters again, but you know what, man? In a world with so many uncertainties and lots of turmoils, if my kids if my kids got the happy ending that they deserved, what else could I wish for? Dayona. But hey, it's just your boy. It's just, it's just your boy, Okami Sausage, having a good time, having fun, watching those romance animes, because romance comedy, because the comedy on that shit is so good. It's like pretty damn on point. But yeah, just the romance too, and those moments between the two main characters, and even some of the supporting characters, how they have their own love interests. Definitely the younger brother Walter is a fucking the homie. He's out there. He's doing his best. He's what's the word? He rizzed up my homegirl Dallas, and yeah, he's a lucky man. But hey, c'est la vie. If you are looking for a romance and or comedic and or serious, deep, personal character building, I would highly recommend this. Highly recommend this. Anything like Waganaria, if you're into that, or even like Konosuba, just but more on the aspect of camaraderie and what it means to be there for each other. I would highly recommend that, and yeah, definitely get on it and watch it, man. I hope if there's any more story to tell from this show, I would love to see it. But if this is it, if this is the ending, this is why I'm actually recording this. If this is the ending, then I am completely satisfied, and I wish them all the best. And to j.c.staff, who has always put in the work, who has always been there, who has always been a positive force in our industry, thank you so much. Thank you for not quitting. Thank you for continuing to be the best you can be. Love you guys. Take care. Hasta la próxima. Ya. Mátane.